What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Guys, if you want to be a part of the Wealth Builders financial community on Patreon, you know what to do. Get yourself down to the description box. First link. Click on that Wealth Builders Financial Community Patreon link. It'll take you over to Patreon. Then all you gotta do is sign up and come join the fastest growing financial community on Patreon. Like I said, we'll call the Wealth Builders. And we have over 2,000 wealth builders in our financial community. Now, none of us are experts. We don't try to tell you what to do. All we do is help each other through golden nuggets, best practices, what's working, what's not working, and just an overall safe environment for people to ask questions and for people to head in the same direction, which is financial freedom, passive income. If you're interested in being a part of a community that will help you and do everything it can to help you get to financial freedom, look no further than the Wealth Builders on Patreon. Like I said, first link down in the description box. Click on it, take you over to Patreon. Sign up, send me a DM, and let me know that you're ready to go to work, and we'll be more than happy to go to work with you. Also, the good folks at Webull are offering for new account holders, new brokerage account holders. If you sign up for Webull and open a new brokerage account, they're going to give you a cash bonus award. Now, that cash bonus award can be anywhere from $200 all the way up to a big number that I'm not going to mention here because I don't want to get in no trouble. But what you want to do is go to the second link down in the description box. Click on the Webull link, and it will tell you all of the cash bonus rewards based on the deposit that you make in your new brokerage account. Don't miss this opportunity, man. Get down to that description box, second link, and click on that Webull link and check out that cash bonus. It's pretty nice, but go check it out. Well, all right, guys. One of my favorite companies in the whole wide world is Nvidia, or like I call it, Nvidia. One of my favorite companies in the whole wide world. And if you guys have been rocking with me on this channel, y'all will know I've been rocking with Nvidia for about, 15, 16 months, all the ups and downs. And guess what today happened? They just hit a $4 trillion market cap. The only company to do that ever. There's no other company in the world that has hit a $4 trillion market cap, but Nvidia just did it. Now, if you go back to Liberation Day, a couple days after Liberation Day, the stock price got itself down to like $86 per share. In less than 2 months, guys, less than 2 months, Nvidia hit an intraday stock price. Matter of fact, that's today, an intraday stock price of $164.42. Now, I'm not real good at math, but if I take 164 minus 86, what does that give me? Like I told you, I'm not real good in math, but let me use the phone. That's a $78 upside in about 2 months. Now again, guys, I'm not here to try to give you financial advice. That's not what I do. I'm not an expert, no financial advice. I'm just here as a shareholder of this great company, telling you that This is what it did. This is not me trying to predict anything, guys. This has actually happened today. It's happening. I'm not trying to predict anything. I'm just telling you what's happening. You go back to Liberation Day. Go look at the stock price when it got down to $86 a share 2 months ago. Today, 164. 164. I mean, I'm over the moon. I am over the moon. Why? Because I don't want to say I told you so. That's probably the wrong word to use, but I told you so. Not trying to be an expert, just one of these guys that had been saying all along that this company is a company that has a long runway and looks like the runway is even longer. I don't know, but let's go check it out. Let's go see what the experts are saying. Not me now. This is not financial advice. I don't care what you do. You do whatever you want to do. I'm just giving you my opinion. That's all this is an opinion. I'm not telling anybody to go do anything. I'm just giving you my opinion. Here's also what some of the experts are saying. Let's check out what some of the experts are saying. Here we go. The new 12-month average price target for Nvidia stock, according to Wall Street Analyst, is $175.97. That's the average. This is coming from Wall Street Analyst, not Richard Fang. I don't care if you ever buy this stock. Doesn't matter to me. That's not why I'm here. I'm just here to share with you some good news for me as a shareholder, right? I'm just sharing the good news. I'm not telling you to go do anything. According to 24/7 Wall Street, that represents an 11.2% potential upside from the current price. The highest price target among analysts is $250 per share, while the lowest is $100 per share. Here's more detailed breakdown. Average price target $175.97, highest price target $250, lowest price target $100 per share. It's worth noting that analyst price targets can vary, with some being more bullish on the stock's potential than others. For instance, Citibank recently raised its price target to $190, citing strong AI demand. Yeah. That's where we're at right now, currently. Now, that doesn't mean there can't be a pullback or a consolidation of this price. It could. Anything can happen, guys, right? We know that. I'm just telling you right now, currently, what's happened now. That doesn't mean this stock price will go to 250. I don't know if it will or not. But what I can tell you, that's a fact, not from me, just go look at the numbers. It was trading at $86 a share 2 months ago. And today, intraday, it hit $164 a share. That's a fact, Jack. That ain't Richard Fang trying to inflate anything or I'm trying to hype anything. No. I'm not trying to hype nothing. That ain't my game plan here. If you guys been rocking with me on my channel, y'all know I've been in Nvidia a long time ago. Now, when I say long time ago, I'm talking about, 2024. I've been in this thing. I was in this thing when it got down to $86 a share, and I bought it at, I don't know, my average cost was probably around 115, something like that, 118. So I'm not telling you anything that is not a fact, Jack. Go look at the numbers. $86 a share 2 months ago. Today, hit 164. That don't mean it'll stay there. I'm just telling you what it did intraday. And currently right now, the stock price is, as I record this video, the stock price is 163.26. Doesn't mean it'll stay there. Who knows what the future holds? But I believe personally, I'm giving you my personal opinion now, not an expert opinion, just my personal opinion, that there's a bright future for this company. Why? Because technology is the future, right? So that's where we're at right now. The question that I ask myself, not for you, but for me, is, do I believe in the upside? Do I get out now, or do I believe in the upside? That's the question, right? So we'll keep moving. We'll keep moving on this. But here we go. Here we go. Let's talk about this $4 trillion market cap. Let's talk about that really quick, because I think that's important. We can't lose sight of that. That's something no other company has ever did. No other company has ever did this. Nvidia on Wednesday became the first publicly traded company to hit the $4 trillion mark, surpassing fellow tech players, including Microsoft and Apple. The chip maker's stock price is up 22% year to date and 24% over the last 12 months. The move comes as the chip giant continues to ride the wave of generative AI hype that kicked off with the introduction of OpenAI ChatGPT in 2022. Nvidia's chips, modified graphics cards, and CUDA, which is the software platform, are designed to both train and run AI programs, giving it a strategic advantage that rivals AMD and Intel continue to struggle to overcome. So what they're telling you here is the secret sauce that Nvidia has right now, based on what I'm reading here, and I'm giving you my little interpretation of it. The secret sauce that Nvidia has that other companies don't have is not only do they provide the hardware, but they provide you the software in order to do what? Train and run AI programs, right? So the hardware is going to be the GPUs. The software is going to be called CUDA. So here's the thing. Here's the secret sauce. This is why I love this company. In order to get my advanced GPU chips, the most advanced in the world, in order for a company to get those, guess what else they got to take? They got to take the software, because the software will train the AI programs. So you can't use my GPUs without also taking the software to train. So not only are they giving you the hardware, but they're also giving you the software, right? The full stack. Whereas other companies are not there yet. Let me read it one more time. Nvidia's chips, modified graphics cards, and CUDA software platform are designed to both train and run AI programs, giving it a strategic advantage that rivals AMD and Intel continue to struggle to overcome. Number one in the world, man. GPUs, plus you got to take my software in order to run the GPUs. You got to take my software in order to both train and run your AI programs. You can't just take my GPUs. No. You just can't take the hardware. Take the software with it. And as you can, from the article, it's telling you, there are companies out there that struggle with that. They can't overcome that. So, tech behemoths, including Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Tesla, and others, are spreading. Let's start over. Tech behemoths, including Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Tesla, and others, are spending hundreds of billions of dollars on the company's hardware as they build out data centers necessary to provide cloud-based AI offerings to their customers and create their own internal AI models. Let me ask you again. Do you believe there's still a lot of runway for this company, given the fact that they're working with the behemoths? They call them hyperscalers. And they're telling you these hyperscalers are going to continue to spend hundreds of billions of dollars. Why do they have to do this? Why do these hyperscalers or these behemoths or these mega caps have to spend hundreds of billions of dollars? Why do they have to do this? Here's why the article says they have to do it. Because it's necessary, right? They're saying they have to spend this money, right, to build out data centers that are necessary to provide cloud-based AI offerings to their customers and create their own internal AI models. Nvidia's stock price has been on a roller coaster this year. The company took a 600 million hit to its market cap in January after DeepSeek revealed its R-1 model, which the company claimed it was able to train using less than top-of-the-line chips. Now, here's the thing. The DeepSeek thing came out. It was crazy. Now I don't want to hear nothing about DeepSeek. That was back in January. Remember DeepSeek came out and everybody goes, oh my goodness. Oh, they're in trouble. There's an easier way and cheaper way to do this. Oh my goodness, they're in trouble. Ah. Now you don't hear nothing about DeepSeek. And guess what? Nvidia, $4 trillion market cap. At least intraday it was. So all I'm telling you is there's going to always be competition, guys. There's going to always be people chasing this company. But guess what? If you're anybody like me, I come from an athletic background. And the way you get the most and the best out of your performance is when you got competition on your hiney. When you got competition trying to run over you, that's when you step it up and go to another level. That's what Nvidia's doing. They're just stepping this thing up and going to another level, man. They ain't afraid of competition. They invite it. They want competition because that's only going to make them better, right? That's my opinion now. Not financial advice, not trying to be a financial advisor, not trying to give you financial, none of that stuff. Just giving you my opinion. You go out and do your own homework and figure out what works best for you. But I'm here to tell you, Wall Street went into meltdown mode as fears arose that Nvidia's pricey data center chips were falling out of fashion. Couple that with concerns that the AI industry was moving from training AI models to inferencing or using AI models, and the market started to believe Nvidia's processors were no longer necessary. See what I'm saying? Now, in my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, guys. I'm no expert here. I have no idea. But in my opinion, that would be a little bit of market manipulation. Now, that's my opinion. That don't mean that's true. That's my opinion. I just think that right there was a little bit of a market manipulation tactic back in January, and it worked. I keep telling y'all, the billionaires, the hedge funds, the institutional investors, these people move the market, man. They're called market movers. They're market movers. Remember I told y'all back in January, I said, listen, prior to President Trump, when President Trump won the election back in November, the market, investors were betting on the stock market. Remember I told y'all that? And then all of a sudden around January, investors changed their mind and they started betting against the stock market. And guess what all of a sudden fell out of the sky when they started betting against the stock market? Guess what fell out of the sky? DeepSeek. All of a sudden in January, this DeepSeek thing pops into the scene. Never had heard of it before, right? Then all of a sudden, when investors, when I say investors, guys, I'm talking about the heavyweights. I'm not talking about you and me. They don't care anything about you and me. I'm talking about the heavyweights. I'm talking about the people that actually move the market. They're called market movers. When those people decided, you know something? President Trump, he gonna go rogue a little bit. Instead of betting on the stock market, like we did from November through December, they were betting on the stock market. So that's why you saw this thing going crazy when President Trump got elected, because your big boy investors, I'm talking about your 1%ers, I'm talking about your market movers, they were betting on the stock market when Trump won. That's why everything was. But guess what they did? In January, they said, you know something? He's going to start talking about this tariff stuff, and that's going to rattle the market. So this is what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and get in front of this thing. So what did they start doing? They started betting against the stock market. They started betting against the stock market. And guess what? One of the main companies they wanted to bet against, Nvidia. And they knew if they could bet against Nvidia, that would be detrimental to who? A lot of investors, because as Nvidia goes, typically the market goes, or the broader market goes. Just like now, Nvidia's doing very, very well. Guess what else is doing very, very well? The broader stock market. And that includes the S&P, and that includes the Dow, and that includes who? NASDAQ. Why? Because Nvidia is in all three. Nvidia is a major weight in all three of those major indexes. Nvidia is. So whatever Nvidia does, a lot of times, the broader stock market follows because of Nvidia. The broader stock market, guys, is a $55 trillion market cap. You got one company, Nvidia, is $4 trillion of that $55 trillion market cap. That's almost 10%, guys. One company. One company represents almost 10% of the entire stock market. So let me tell you something. When the big boys say we're going to bet against it, guess what the big boys do? They come up with some propaganda with this DeepSeek thing. See, the big boys throw that out there, not you and me, the big boys. Because they say we're going to bet against the stock market. The only way we can bet against the stock market, we have to go after the most valuable company in the stock market, which is Nvidia. And in my opinion, that's what they did. They went after Nvidia, but the only way they could go after Nvidia is how? They had to try to come up with something that would say there's a cheaper way to do all of this without spending all this money on Nvidia's chips. So what do they come up with? DeepSeek out of China. Oh, there's something out of China called DeepSeek that you can do all of this Nvidia with a lower grade of chip. You don't need these expensive chips what Nvidia is making. You can use a lower grade of chip, but get better data center production and all this other stuff. You can run all these data centers. We can do all of this with a lower grade chip. You don't need that expensive chip from Nvidia. Guess what they did? They saturated the market with that propaganda. And what did it do to Nvidia? Stock price went down. Guess what has happened? Overall stock market goes down. All right? This was January. And then you came out behind that with, of course, President Trump started talking about tariffs in February. And then he ramped it up in March. Remember in March, the beginning of March, he hit Canada and he hit Mexico with 25% tariff. That was the first time. He had been talking about it now. Don't get me wrong now. He had been talking about tariffs in January, late December, January, February, but he hadn't given any full details. Remember, go back to March, early March. He came out with the 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada. And boom, that started it. In March, if you go back to the first part of March, we had a little dipsy because of those, the first group of tariffs came out on Canada and Mexico. And then, of course, in the first part of April, you had Liberation Day. Boom, Liberation Day hits. And that was the cherry on top of the ice cream sundae. That's when Nvidia went down to 86. But it had already been hit hard by DeepSeek. It hadn't recovered from DeepSeek yet. Remember, it hadn't recovered from DeepSeek. So it was still kind of wobbling. And then all of a sudden, President Trump came out with Liberation Day tariffs. Not only did he come out with Liberation Day tariffs, he also said he was going to restrict us from companies, American companies, chip makers, from sending chips to China. And remember, Nvidia had to take a one-time, almost $5 billion write-down or charge-off. Why? Because it had all of these chips, not the most advanced chip, but the H20 chip. It had inventory of that H20 chip that was going to be going to China, but President Trump said, you can't sell them to China. So they had to take a $5 billion hit because they had that inventory that they couldn't move to China because of the restrictions. So that hit them as well right around Liberation Day month. So all of those things were hitting Nvidia. DeepSeek in January, and then the tariffs, and then the restrictions on the H20 chip that would have been going to China. They couldn't sell it to them. All of these things hit this company, and they still maintained. Now, guess what's happening? President Trump is starting to ease back on the restrictions to these inferior chips going to China. Nobody don't know what happened to DeepSeek. I ain't never heard of them since. This whole DeepSeek thing, oh, there's an easier way, a cheaper way. And where's it at now? Poof, smoke, gone. Why? What's happening? Your wealthiest of the wealthiest, your billionaires, your institutional investors, your hedge funds, your market movers, they're betting on the stock market again right now. See, this is how things shift, guys, and you got to pay attention. See, now the same group of 1%ers who are the market movers, they are betting on the stock market again. That's why you see it doing what it's doing, in my opinion, at all-time highs. They're betting for it now. Question is, when will they decide to bet against it again? That's what you got to be paying attention to, because it'll help you move. Right now, they're betting on the stock market again. Matter of fact, in my opinion, guys, this is not financial advice. This is not me trying to know everything. You can go out and do your own research and come up with your own conclusion, make your own YouTube video. But for my little 2 cents, what's happening right now is these market movers, these billionaires, these hedge funds, these institutional investors have nowhere else to put their money. So what they're going to do is, you know something, but if I can't beat them, let's join them. They're going to go ahead and go right along with President Trump on this ride. As long as President Trump wants to continue saying the economy's great, he's going to continue saying low jobs great. He's going to continue saying no inflation. He's going to continue saying everything's good. And guess what these big time investors are going to do? They're going to say, well, let's go right with him then. Long as the president keeps saying everything is great, it's the best economy in the world, inflation's gone, they're going to go ahead and go along with him. Because guess what? There's nothing that has come out yet to prove him wrong. Right? No, I'm telling you what, in my opinion now, this is my little 2 cents. Go out and do your own homework and figure it out for yourself. But I'm just telling you what my speculation is. My speculation is the market has decided, as long as President Trump is going to double down on inflate, no more. Remember now, President Trump is saying there's no inflation. He also says the labor market is strong. The economy is strong. They just got the big, beautiful bill passed. And they're saying that's going to open up so much wealth. See, I keep telling y'all guys, perception is everything. Whether it opens up wealth or not for you and me, they don't care if it opens up anything for you and me. That's not who President Trump is talking to. Y'all think he's talking to y'all, but he's not. It's the one percenters. He's telling the one percenters, listen, we got your back. Keep investing. We're going to keep saying the economy is fine. And until somebody comes out with something different, guys, unless you get some type of report that says, you know, inflation and went back up to 5%, yo, I'm telling you, they're going to keep on running this thing up. They're going to keep running this thing up. As an investor, personally, me, I'm going to be right with them. I'm going to keep doubling down and keep doing what I got to do to take advantage of this opportunity, because I understand right now, in my opinion, the people that actually move the market, they are believing. I ain't going to even say they believe President Trump, but it's not about what they believe. It's about what the perception of the market is. If the perception by most of the people in this country is that the economy is good, and even if some people you see online say it ain't good, they ain't the president. The president says good, and there ain't no studies or no data that has come out to say different. Right? A lot of people attacked him on the ADP report. But then 2 days later, jobs report comes out. Employment numbers were up. Economy added 147,000 jobs. 147,000. See what I'm saying? So he's saying, the president's saying everything's great. So investors, the people that actually move the market, says, you know something? Whether I disagree with him or not is irrelevant. He's saying it's great. So the perception is that it's great. Guess what? If the president of the United States saying it's great, there's no information out there that we know of that contradicts that. Let's go ahead and continue to bet with the stock market. Let's bet on the stock market. Now you got an S&P 500 that is getting near 6,300 points territory. When has that ever been done? Never. You got a NASDAQ that has already crossed 20,500 points. Never happened before. You got a Dow that's on its way to 45,000 points. Y'all better figure out what's going on, man. I'm not here to try to be some financial advisor, because I'm not. I don't know, I'm not saying you got to listen to me. Matter of fact, don't listen to me. I'm just a guy on YouTube. So don't listen to me. Go out and do your own homework. And if you think I'm lying, go look up the numbers. You can go look at the numbers. You can go look at the numbers and you can say, oh, well, right now, S&P 500, 6,242 points. It already hit an intraday high today of 6,269 points. Guys, it's headed to 6,300. Now, what could derail it? What can derail it? If there is unequivocal evidence that inflation is going up, that could derail the whole thing. But until that happens, what are the market movers doing? They're doubling down. They're doubling down. They're going to ride this thing all the way to the big old bank in the sky. They're going to ride this thing because they're saying to themselves, listen, it's perception. We don't care if it's true or not. All we care about is the market keeps going up. So let's keep pumping. You also have large corporations doing what? Doing stock buybacks. So when companies have all these shares out there and they start buying those shares back, taking them out, buying them back, that increases the stock price, guys. And again, guys, this is all my opinion. I'm no expert here. So go out and do your own research. Don't take I'm not giving you advice. I'm just giving you my opinion. I have a right to give my opinion. If you don't believe it, fine. Go do your own research. But I have a right to give my own opinion. So what's happening right now is not only do you got the market movers saying to themselves, President Trump saying everything peachy keen, everything's great. There's no data that says it's not great. Let's double down. Then you got the corporations that are saying, you know something? Now is a good time for us to do what? Run up profits so CEOs can do what? CEOs can get better compensation, because you got to understand, guys, these CEOs, you know how they're compensated? Based on the stock price. They're compensated based on the stock price. So if I'm buy back shares, if I take profits and we buy back shares, so that's less shares in circulation. What does that mean? That old supply versus demand. The fewer shares of Nvidia that's in circulation is a good thing for the stock price because it creates more demand. If there are a million, and this is just hypothetical, and again, guys, this is not financial advice, this is my little 2 cents. If there are a million shares, a million out, just hypothetical, it's way more than that, but this is just a hypothetical. If there are a million shares outstanding of Nvidia stock, and then the company says, you know something? Let's buy back 200,000 shares. So now there's only 800,000 shares in circulation. What happens to those 800,000 shares? They go up in value because it's fewer of them. That's what they're doing right now. These companies are taking profits. I mean, huge profits and buying back shares of their own stock. And guess what that's doing to the stock price, guys? It's running up the stock price. And guess what these CEOs are doing? They're getting compensated for it because their compensation is tied to the stock price. This is what's happening right now, guys, in the world of making money, man. Now, you can sit here and not get involved in it. That's fine. You stay on the sideline. But I'm telling you what's happening. There's no better opportunity than right now, in my opinion. If someone is out there saying, man, I need to build me some wealth, you better get on. You better figure out what's going on right now. Just saying, guys. So take a look at that. Again, my job here is not to try to convince you of anything. My whole goal here is just to share my opinion with you. Hey, none of it may be true. You just need to go out there and do your own research and try to figure out for yourself what you believe and how you are going to move. But for me personally, I'm going to continue moving with the 1%ers because I know good and doggone well these people ain't doing all of this for nothing. They doing all of this because why? They're trying to make money, right? And when it's time for them to bet against the stock market, guess what's going to happen? You'll see stuff start, propaganda will start pouring into propaganda when they get ready to shift and start betting against it. See, these really wealthy people, guys, they make money on both ends. They make it when the market is doing good, and they also make it when the market is doing bad. The thing is, they manipulate both of them, though. You and me don't manipulate it. But we got to be smart enough to understand what they're doing, in my opinion. We got to be smart enough to understand what they're doing, right? So drop some comments and let me know what you think. Again, not an expert here, just a regular schmeggler, just trying to give you my little 2 cents. If you want to be a part of the Wealth Builders, where we talk about some of this same stuff, not trying to be experts, we just offer our opinion, then you need to get down to that first link in the description box and click on that Patreon link, that Wealth Builders Financial Community Patreon link. It'll take you over to Patreon. You can sign up and come join the Wealth Builders, and we'll continue this discussion. And that's all it is a discussion. No one's right or wrong. Ain't nobody trying to be some expert. We're just discussions, man. Give you some food for thought, some to think about. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just telling you what I believe. January, DeepSeek, the tariffs in March, Liberation Day in April. And then all of a sudden, now we're at all-time highs 2 months later. Come on, man. Y'all know what's going on here. At least I know what's going on. And my job is to try to take advantage of it, right? Like I said, if you want that Webull offer for that cash bonus reward for opening up a new Webull brokerage account, second link down in the description box, click on it. It'll give you all the details. And if you decide you want to open a Webull brokerage account and put you some money in there, listen, you can get yourself a cash bonus reward. If not, stay on the sideline, do nothing. But one thing I will leave you with, Listen, guys, the activities that you're doing right now are giving you the results that you're getting right now. Whatever activities you're doing, if you're not doing any activities to build wealth, guess what? You ain't gonna have no results. You ain't gonna have no wealth. If you're doing activities right now that are not getting you where you wanna be, then guess what you gotta do? In my opinion, that is, you gotta change the activities. If I'm doing activities over here that are not getting me what I need over here, then I gotta change my activities. Well, here's the thing. Here's the definition of insanity. I keep doing the same old activities, but I expect a different result. That's the definition of financial insanity. I'm doing the same old activities, but I expect a different result every day. That's insanity. In order to get a different result, you got to change the activities. So figure out if you want to change the activities or not, or continue doing what you're doing. You'll continue to get what you get. Pretty simple, man. This thing is pretty simple. Pretty simple. 80%, in my opinion, of building wealth is about execution. 20% is knowledge. 80%, guys, is just executing. 20% is the knowledge part. The difference between the 1% and the 99% when it comes to wealth in this country. The reason 1% of the population controls 99% of the wealth has all to do with execution, not knowledge. It's execution. So if you want to change something in your life, execute better. Execute better. If you stop by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, smash the like button. Thoughts become things. You can see it in your mind, hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.